Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bulldog Show. The football team advances in the state playoffs and will play Robert E. Lee for the second time this year in Crampton Bowl in Montgomery. We have stay tuned after the show for the play-by-play by WKKR. Now here's Coach Spencer McCracken and Mark Mitchell.
Oh, good evening and welcome to the Opelika Bulldog Review. I'm your host, Mark Mitchell, along with the head football coach and athletic director of here at Opelika High School, Coach Spence McCracken. The Bulldogs have won their first Class 6A state playoff game right here at Bulldog Stadium Friday night, 44-0 over Carver. We'll be back to talk to Coach McCracken about that game and looking ahead right after this short timeout. Okay, welcome back. Coach, before we get going on the film, another congratulations to you. 10th win of the year, no losses, a big 44-0 romp over Carver in the first round of the Class 6A state playoffs, and I know that sounds good to you.
Well, Mark, it was a great win. It was one of those kind of wins that that we wanted to try to get over with early. I'm not really wild about the playoff system the way it is now, but when you play a team that's 1-9, you got to get your troops ready to play, and that's my job. And we tried to get them just as ready as we were for Central and Lee and anybody else we've played, and they came out and did what they had to do. We had a little adversity there in the second quarter. We worked through it, and the best thing about the game, we got to play a lot of young kids, and then we've advanced to the second round to play Robert E. Lee. So it's just great that we're practicing another week.
We started quickly. We were able to go ahead, and again, we started with a field goal and how important Dallas was, the kick, to make it right and get going. But you mentioned playing all your kids, and I'm sure all of them played. The good part about that, Coach, normally in the state playoffs, you wouldn't have that. You'd be in a situation where you'd have to rely on your starters and maybe a few subs to play. Someone could get hurt. I know it could happen any time, but with 9 minutes to go in the third quarter, you had your starters out of the game, and therefore nobody could get hurt from that point on, not meaning just making sure everybody's healthy. I think that's another good point for your football team.
Absolutely right, Mark. And a lot of them mamas and daddies get to see their babies play, and these kids that do a lot of that work that you don't see on Friday night, the folks that on scout teams, old Dusty Harris and Will Aaron play my quarterback from the other team every week, and they got to be the real quarterback, and all those linemen and everybody got, including those 3 ninth graders, they all got to play. We played everybody we had, and even Michael Vanafro got to play.
Yeah, he's been
hurt. Came back
all
from that major knee surgery,
right.
And we were able to put him on the kickoff team in the second half, and he was thrilled. I know Mikey V will probably talk about him on the show, but again, it was great to play everybody, and it was a great win for Opelika, and I'm very humbled and very honored that we're in the state playoffs, and we've been able to advance with 15 other teams to the Sweet 16.
Yes, it is. Opelika rushed for over 350 yards in the game. Al Cole had another 100-yard game, Coach. He's entering close to the 1,000-yard mark again for the second year in a row. And, of course, it was a nice crowd at Bulldog Stadium. The temperature wasn't real nice, so that kind of kept, I guess, some of the Carver people away. They didn't bring anybody, so that didn't help. But we move on to the second. We're going to go to the tape in just a minute, but we move on to the second round, and we play Robert E. Lee. We'll talk about Robert E. Lee later on in the show, but right now, if we can just go to the film and coach, and we'll look at this. It
was a great night.
Highlights of Opelika and Carver.
Tony Hoyette handed out 15 state championship rings to the state champion track team before the game, which was outstanding. I want to congratulate them. I got to see a lot of former players at the game. Buck Buchanan was at the game. Alex Dowdale, and I always tell those old guys when I see them that you guys are the ones that set the stage for where we are now, and it's always good to see them, and congratulations to that track team for winning Opelika's first state championship in the school's history, Mark. And we had rings for them. We'll thank Ronnie Wilson and the Booster Club for furnishing those rings, and it's amazing what that I know that's going to do for those children, and how it's going to help their self-esteem. So again, congratulations to them, and let's get on with the tape, and we'll see how it goes.
I'm glad you mentioned those folks too, Coach, because they did a great job, and Coach Hoyette and Coach Crider. Here's the Dogs taking the field in front of their huge band that always stretches out in front of them.
The band was excellent again. I heard Mark did a great job. And, we had all our seniors back out there as captains, and we deferred and won the toss. And we got to get Dallas working on his kicking a little bit better. We got to get this thing back down to about the 10 or 15.
There's a fumble. He recovers that.
almost got the ball, didn't
Almost,
Lamar?
yes, he did. Carver's ball. And right here, Coach, you know, they came out, and it surprised me. Their band played the first 2 times they had the ball right in front of them, you know, and that's hard to hear sometimes.
Well, they were
So it
enthusiastic.
and they had a couple of penalties there, but look at our defense here, swarming. They jumped off sides on this
Troy
play.
Baggett was got held on this
Right.
play and put him back, and we're going to create a little something. Now
That's
is a
the
lateral.
lateral when you throw it
That one-
backwards.
that's right. Now that one's behind the
He
guy
was,
right there.
He was at the 15 and it went out at the 10. Now we're going to show you another play here soon.
Good pressure there by Keon Hughley right when the boy let the ball go, and incomplete pass. And we knew their deep snapper wasn't
Trouble
very
here.
good. I wish we had a deep snapper like that we were going against this week, but this guy happens to be real good. He scatters those cheerleaders over there, doesn't he?
Larkin tipped the ball there.
Corey got a tip on that ball, that's right, and offense comes out. And Mark, I'm only a little disappointed about is the first drive. We got an offsides
Right
jump.
here.
John Ton Duckworth jumps offsides, and he knows better than that. He knows he can't do that next week. There he is. He's just trying to be, to make a play, and nobody
get
feels
off
worse
quick.
about it than he does. But we got to do better than that. That's little Fredo Parker, who that ankle injury is just about well. He and Al did a great job of running the football, and we ran a little little pick pass here that Corbett threw the ball a little too soon. He thought the man was covered, and so he threw it away, basically what he told Brian. And so, I'd rather do that than throw an interception. Dallas Dorsey kicks a 33-yard field goal, and hey, that 3 points is big, Mark. Gets it started
How
off.
important it is, and already 3 points.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to kick off, and on this series, if I'm not mistaken, we get good coverage, and Greg Ferguson's going to block a punt for us, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you're right, Coach, on this one right here. Again, you see Carver, they're not going to pick up the first down here. And if you're looking up in the stands over there, we're not allowed to sit but in one section over there, and that's one section at the other end is Opelika, and the rest is Carver. So that's really just kind of empty.
Right.
But here's
right.
Carver again trying to get a first down. They go third down here, and it's going to be an incomplete pass. Almost
Should've caught that,
intercepted,
and then
almost.
we had about 4 guys hit that ball. Lamarcus fell down there, and I think we skipped that
block.
punt block that Greg Ferguson had. But we get the ball back, and or maybe he does it later. I'm not sure. But we get a great run here. I think that was Corey, wasn't it?
Yes, sir, it was.
On speed sweep, we wanted to make sure we got this one in. That's Dan Russell, who played real well. This is Al on a little sweep. You didn't think that he made any yards on that play, but he made 4 yards.
That's right, 4 hard. And here he is right up the
Great
gut.
blocking by Duckworth, Heath, Owen, whole front line, Preston. Dorsey kicks it through 10-0 Dogs.
I'll tell you what, looking good there, Coach. 2 times we've had it, 2 quick scores. Al Cole with a long touchdown run. And we're up 10-0 after Dorsey can the extra point. Here again, we kick off. I believe David Orange kick it off for
Yeah, we
tonight.
let David kick off, give him a little experience, kicked it to about the 12-yard line.
Yeah, he did a good
we
job.
Keep him to keep it in bounds.
Yeah, that's true.
He kicked some out of bounds later in the game, but that was a great kick right there.
His leg
And-
was tired, Coach.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, we
I was just saying because he had to kick off so many
right.
times.
We played some good. Ed Donald Johnson with a big sack right there.
I believe that was Keon, Coach.
Was that Keon
I believe it
Hughley?
was,
Okay,
yeah.
he came in from the other side then. And we got great pressure. Jason Maddox makes that tackle. Jason has just played super football all year. This might be the block punt.
There it is, Greg Ferguson. We were late there, Coach.
Yeah, I
a
know,
little early.
Greg. And look at Ray Edwards and Lamarcus hit this guy. And, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You're supposed to do that when you're going after the ball.
Excuse me.
Good football. And this is Corbett Ogletree, our fine senior quarterback.
Coach, he picked up some hard yards up in there.
Made 7 yards
Yeah.
on that play. And I think Alfredo takes this one
Just-
in. He does touchdown. Great blocking by Preston Henderson, Moody, Thomas, the whole left side over there, and Russell. 16-0 Dogs, and Dorsey kicks it through. And Mark, when you hit 17-0 early in a playoff game,
You are dominating.
You really feel good about it at this time.
Total domination here. If you notice, they haven't crossed the 50, haven't picked a first down up, and I believe they get a first down on this drive, but that's all they're
Yeah,
going
Ray
to
can't
do.
let- now,
You
Ray-
can't run wide on us, Coach. I can tell you
Yeah,
that.
but Ray did a little bit better contained job, but he did pull him down. It's a great play. And about this time, we're going to start shutting them down pretty good, Mark. And we're trying to get them to start throwing the ball. And Coach Grider and I were talking about, if you remember 2 years ago, that's a great play right there by Keon. He played a lot better ball game. You remember 2 years ago when Carver came up here and they ran the same play about 9 times
yeah.
to the left side? Well, he does not really like to throw the ball. Here's another one of those fake punts and runs. And
He did a good
punts
job
again.
to kick it away.
But once we got them throwing the ball, we knew we had them where we wanted them, but they hadn't wanted to do that yet. There's Al.
Here's
Cole.
Al.
Al is really,
For 14.
oh gosh, Mark, he's playing with a lot of confidence.
Yeah,
and
he's tough up
everybody's
inside.
blocking well for him, and we're coming off that
Here's
football.
Larkins,
Corey,
about 9.
and, and Larry and I are talking about this after the game. Boot pass. Now there's the what's so-called lateral.
Yeah, that's the
And-
lateral,
and
folks.
if that's a
I
lateral,
wish we could replay it because I wasn't telling everybody.
well, if that's a lateral, I'm going to go into space with John Glenn the next time he goes. That was not a very good call, but it was a judgment call, and I can't. I went out there. And there is a timeout now.
Yeah, you called
and
timeout.
I am allowed out there. I'm not.
Did y'all discuss where y'all were?
Yeah, he told me I could come over there and talk to that guy. So I'm not doing anything wrong here.
No, I think you did a good job, Coach. You took up for your
I
team
just asked
because
him where the guy was, where the trajectory of the ball was, and he told me he was behind him. So that is. I just want to make my point.
well, I think you did a good job, Coach, because there is no way that was a lateral. And,
No,
and
I
in a
didn't-
serious game, that could have been so damaging.
I know,
And so I'm glad you took up for you guys.
Mark, our defense on the way back though said, "Go on, Coach, we'll get them."
Yeah, I like that. I know
And-
that.
and they held-
you didn't even say a word. Now, here was our only mistake,
Well,
Greg.
we in prevent. Corey wasn't supposed to be where he was, and he got in the trajectory line of Greg's deal. But that's my fault. We got to work on punt safe a little bit more, which is a defense where you line up. That's great tackling right there.
they got
We're
another-
ready. Listen, they're down there ready to score.
That's right, 1st and 10 from the
look at all
12.
the red shirts. There's gosh, that's a great play by Maddox. Great play
Clark.
by Clark, Sistrunk, bad snap, Torrey Baggett, Willis, all of them in there after him.
4th down here, Coach, I think.
Well, what pressure? This
Nice pass.
You
He
can't
caught
see
it.
this hit. It
that's
went
the
around the
hit that
corner.
Corey hit.
Yeah, Mr.
Yes,
Boone's gonna have
there
to
he is.
apologize to Corey.
Well,
but-
there he is, so you
and
can tell what the hit was
I
like,
heard you
folks.
say on there it's one of the hardest licks you've ever seen.
Coach, it hurt me. I mean, it hurt me. And what made it so, I don't mean this ugly,
Great
but
run by Al
the
Cole.
young man couldn't get up and his breath
Absolutely.
was knocked out. And I don't mean that ugly. It just, you could tell he got hit very hard. But here we
Corey
come
does
right
a good
back.
job down there, and that's Alfredo. I believe Alfredo and Al kind of shared places. Larry was
right.
trying to play him.
Look at Big Al.
Boy, I tell you
Boy,
what,
this is a nice
and he's
run,
smooth.
Coach.
And when you got the blocking that he's got, it makes it that much better. But boy, he's good in the open field.
sure
Carries it down to the 8. And here's Corey running the short sweep,
Tough.
and with that speed and quickness, and he runs so low to the ground. 24-0 Dogs. Dorsey kicks it through, and Mark, I couldn't ask for a better effort from our kids. Here we are, 1:48 left in the half. So all we want to do now is just keep them from getting any kind of a big play, and we're going to get the ball back. Here's David. Now see, David doesn't get any height on this ball, kicks it out of bounds, and you can't give your opponents the ball at the 35-yard line. That's just that is a first down. 35 is just too far for somebody to get to start from.
Yeah, I agree, Coach.
Look at the pressure. Great pressure right there. I believe that was Anthony Suarez and Deion Mitchell. Oh gosh, JR almost caught that.
Almost.
Notice the pressure of the front four, though. Here comes LaMarcus on a stunt. Somebody is hitting him right when he lets the ball go. That was a sack right there by Torrey Baggett.
Great job.
Boy, we're coming so close to these punts, Mark. Greg, watch this move Greg puts on this guy right here.
Nice.
Just great feet. No.
Ran out of the sidelines.
Nice
That's a
little
flag. I
punt.
believe they got a flag. No, they didn't. That wasn't a flag there.
All right, we're trying to get some points in here before. Watch this run
Here's
by
Larkins.
Corey.
This is the closing stages of the half, too.
Yeah, you
Look
think
at
he's
this.
down, but watch him accelerate. And we're down to the 18. We only have one timeout left, Mark, and we're going to take the timeout. And another great acceleration
Larkins to the
again.
6.
And this
Here's
is
the pass.
We only had like 12 seconds with no timeouts, and that's my fault. It's not Corbett's fault. It's a pass that we don't work on in practice. We'll start working on it next week. And that's halftime, and I tell you what, it just feels real good to be ahead 24-0 at half, and knowing that you only have 24 minutes left to play against a team that's not very good, and it really helps us. Corey's going to pick this up. Watch this kickoff return. This is a great. You think he was down, didn't you, Mark?
Yes, I did, Coach. I
And
thought he was
he's
going
just
down
going-
right there, and then he goes, no, sorry.
He has a 38-yard average on kickoff returns.
Coach, he's phenomenal.
Which-
Every time he
which is
touches the
phenomenal.
ball, either side, he does.
Now, I think the league is going to be smart enough not to kick it to him. Al Cole off tackle.
Look at this.
For
Nice
about
run.
45 yards, and nobody's going to catch
We
him.
score on one play.
And,
First play of the second half.
and I told Brian that's it for the first bunch, and we're going to let the twos go the rest of the way. I told them to come out and get one quick, and we let the twos play. And so they're going to get to play a whole half of football.
Right, that's what I was saying. On offense with 9 minutes to go,
And we kept our one bunch in here on defense. we wanted to make sure that we got a good stop here. I think that was, we put a couple of linebackers in. I think Brian Block started playing about this time. Great play by Corey right there. Knocks that kid down, and we got the ball. And, you know, this is this is a disappointing part of the game, though. Our number 2s on this series right here, it might have been another series. We don't get a first down, and we really chewed on them because they've got a, you know, they're going to be our team next year. Hughley.
They did come back.
That's Tim Evans, a great sack.
Good. Yeah, and Mitchell too. They did come back.
I think this is the series too, Mark.
Yeah.
That they're going to come back and play. I think Dusty Harris is going to throw a nice little passing to Joe Bagley. That's
Live.
Tremarcus Lyles, the fine little 10th grader who's growing up a little bit every day. Going to be a fine running back for us next year. Here's Tremarcus around the end. You know, he's just got great speed, Mark. He's got to work on his moves a little bit and work on a few other things, but he's doing okay. Watch Dusty throw this ball. Sits in the pocket. Joe Bagley.
Nice job.
And that's great to see Joe.
Nice
make that
catch. I tell you, he looked good. I tell you, Coach caught it and knew what to do with it after he got it.
Absolutely. Dusty's our scout team quarterback. So he gets those number 1s on him. Look at Parker
Alfredo running down that sideline.
I tell you what, it's good to see that ankle well, and it's going to be good to have him next week and hopefully in the next couple of weeks because, like I said, Mark, you can't ever run out of backs. I think John Andrews missed that extra point.
He did.
But we got to work on those, and so we're going to finish the game just playing our 2s, and David doesn't kick. I think he doesn't kick that out of bounds. We've got great tackle right here. I think Nick Richardson was in on that tackle. Mike Vanafro, some of those new kids got to get in there. They're just having fun. Now, that's Brian Block, our inside linebacker. Tim Evans is playing middle linebacker and nose for us. That's a great interception
This
right
is
there.
Spriggs. And watch this return.
Hey, now I'm telling you
Coach, this
something.
surprised me. Look at the speed.
I never knew
it's
Spriggs
surprised.
had
I didn't
this
either,
kind of
Coach.
speed. No, he's pretty fast, believe it or not.
I mean, that was a great job right there. I mean, he returned that about 50 yards.
Hurts his shoulder a little, but he's okay. And this is Tremarcus on the speed sweep. He's going to score. And that's just
So
a
the
great
number 2's put 2
individual
touchdowns in.
Yeah, if we get that boy really, really focused next year, Mark, he could be a great running back at Opelika High School. We knocked this one through. It's 44-0. That's going to end the scoring. And we got a quarter left to play, which is fun. I told those trainers, go down there and throw all that water out.
Yeah, I
throw
heard
any
you.
water on people because it's so cold. We didn't get anybody to swim.
Excuse me, I heard you
This is
say
Nick
that.
Richardson, great open field tackle, and Queasy Bulger. And that's Jason Finley, a nice little
Right.
9th grader that came in there to play some. I think that's Melvin Cole. We missed a couple of interceptions right along here too, Mark. That Ray Edwards, I heard y'all kind of laughing when Ray dropped one. Bless his heart.
He sure did. He wanted to run before he got
thought
that.
he had it. Dusty
Yeah, he did.
Harrison.
Nice run by Dusty.
On a great run right there. I think Jeremy Scott's going to make a heck of a run here in a minute. I don't know whether Wally has that or not. Lyles with another good run. That's the sophomore Justin Armstrong in there. Cook, I know one of your dad's favorite kids. John Sullivan. There's Tim Evans, who's got a heart of gold playing fullback. Look at him run the ball.
Look at all
Now,
those
that kid weighs
blockers downfield, Coach.
plays 154 pounds and squats over 500. He's just a great kid. Greg Ferguson, look at Greg running him down. Now, you watch Greg when he gets up. Watch the enthusiasm. He just loves the game.
Yeah, now you can tell this bunch here's having a good time.
There's Finley out there, Ferguson. I don't know who made that.
I couldn't tell there. Coach.
They really, listen, you know, it is just a joy to watch them play.
Here
This
it
is Jeremy
is. Here
Scott.
it is.
Watch this. Now, Papa Scott, I hope he sees that.
Yeah.
Now, that make him proud.
Yeah,
Now.
really.
The whole family. Haley and
Now,
all
I
of
believe,
them.
now was that Herring that handed off? I wasn't sure.
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
Will
look, but
got
was in
to
the game.
play some, 9th grade quarterback. I wanted Dusty to get more snaps than Will because he's going to have to be ready to play if
Right,
anything
I
happens to
understand.
Corbett. But
Dusty's been with you all
big
year.
interception by Martrez Harris right there. And
He made
Martrez,
some nice plays in the game.
Martrez will take your head off too, Mark. He's a great athlete. I think that's Dusty running that little quarterback sweep again that you like to see. And then Latrell Mitchell, I ain't one of your dad's baseball players too in the league over there, I know. And I like to see these kids playing baseball too. We got a lot of the football players
Glad
playing
they're
for
out.
us.
Coach, your fat lady singing this
Fat
game
Lady
mighty
says
early. Mighty
44
early.
nothing, and let's get ready for Robert E. Lee. And I want to congratulate Carver on their season. I know it wasn't what they wanted, but they were able to compete in the playoffs, which is more than I can say for Opelika in the last 3 years. And congratulations to them. And let's get ready for round number 2. There's a lot of happy Bulldogs down there. I got to see my mama came up for the game, and She always goes to the game with my wife. I got to see your wife, got to see a lot of people up in the box.
Our wives are starting to come up now, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of good Opelika people. Of course, they're all down there. But the greatest thing after a game, Mark, is to, when we win, is to see the expressions of joy on the Opelika people's faces, players and fans, and for them to hopefully vent out a lot of frustration. And but it's not over yet. It's just started, and all of you know that Friday night at Crampton Bowl are the Robert E. Lee Generals waiting for us and thinking they can beat us. And I'll just tell you something, folks. The game's at 7 o'clock. Don't come in there and get a ticket at 7 o'clock. Get there at 6 o'clock and get your ticket and sit down and watch us warm up and get a frenzy like you've never had before. We won the last time we played down there, Mark, and I think Joe McAdory put this in the paper. In 1986, 1991, and 1992, Opelika got put out in the second round of the playoffs, all by Robert E. Lee. And it's Opelika's turn this year to do the same thing to them. And if we play the kind of football that we can play, we're going to do it. But we can't turn the ball over, and we can't give them any big plays. They have a great tailback in Eric Bradford, and I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but
that's okay.
It's time to talk about Robert E. Lee, and it's time to talk about what the people of Opelika can do to help this football team. And the thing you need to do is get your ticket. Go on and buy your ticket at OA Sports and Anders Bookstore starting Wednesday. Have your tickets when you go to Montgomery. There are plenty of tickets to buy, but go on and get them now and get there about 6:15. We will warm up at 6:20. At 6:20 is when we start warm up. And it would make my heart feel good, and I know those kids, to see 3,000 or 4,000 people in that stands at 6:20 with your shakers going crazy for the Opelika Bulldogs. And if you'll do that for us, it might just pull us through. I don't know, but we're going to, I'm not predicting any victories, but I know one thing, we're going to play our heart and soul out for you Friday night. And because if we can win this one, we can play at home the next week.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll predict a victory because this man coached those 3 games that Opelika got put out. Now he's on our side. But we'll be right back to talk a little bit more about Robert E. Lee right after this. Welcome back to our Bulldog Show. Coach, I want to go a little bit over our corporate sponsors.
Hey, great group, Mark.
We got a third of them. We're going to get another third tonight. Next week, we'll get the next third, okay?
And always good folks.
Always good folks. Got one sponsor right there.
Glenn Arnett, Coca-Cola. Go Coke.
All right, we'll start with the Elks Lodge down on Opelika, Auburn Road. Me and Ronnie helped get to
Ronnie Spriggs, and they do, if you're not a member of the Elks Club, good place to go. Join up, swimming pool, great place to eat on Sunday, too.
Ennis Foods and Opelika 2 stores. We appreciate everything they do for us. Old Gary Wright and all the folks at Ennis Foods.
I got a lot of Opelika Bulldogs that shop at Ennis.
A lot of Bulldogs at Ennis.
Sure do.
Farmers National Bank, Eddie Smith is the vice president that helped us. Kay Holly is one of the good folks that you have to talk to get everything done. That's right.
At youth football every Saturday morning. Dawn works over at the middle school.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Answers the phone over there.
First National Bank, that's Bill Kent.
Bill and good man, good
Ronnie,
bank.
Ronnie,
good folks over there.
Rainer Meadows too. Flowers Baking Company, Calvin Rhodes.
Smell that bread every time I go by First Avenue too.
Frontier Printing.
Danny and them, they did a great program that we have.
Fuller Broadcasting, now Root Communications.
Right, and I believe that's where the kicker's located.
That's us. That's where we do. That's right. I do Bulldog football games. Dr. Earl Fuller, and man, this guy's big
Good
sponsor.
man.
I mean, a good man, puts you to sleep when you go have surgery and gives us a big sponsorship. Gentry and Ware Motor Companies, man, we can't say enough about Ronnie Ware and Don Gentry.
That Bulldog truck is well used too, Mark.
Everything they do for us, Coach, I tell you.
Good people. And
help us with scoreboards, any kind of special thing we need, we can always call on them.
It's a great truck to let us use during the football season.
Glenn Smith Chevrolet, G.O. Jeep Eagle. I tell you, Roger's just as good. Roger McLeod's out at Glenn Smith, and they're sponsoring on the radio.
Roger and them have a tailgate party.
That's right.
Every Friday night before most of the games, I believe, too.
All right, Chuck Golden, that with Light and Power Company downtown.
Chuck got a little girl that's a cheerleader over there, you know, so they make him tote all I've got on him. I got on him. I said, those little girls ought to be toting all that cheerleading stuff instead of you to the games. But he's a cheerleading dad.
That's right. Grady's Tire and Auto, Temple Anderson. He's what a super guy he is.
Temple put a great set of tires on
That's
your car.
right. He sure will. Jay Harper, Farmers Insurance. Here in Opelika. Jay's daughter is on, 2 daughters are cheerleaders.
That's right, and Jay also trains Labrador retrievers on the side. If you want a lab train,
I didn't know that,
he and Marta trained my lab in 5 minutes at Bulldog Stadium one Saturday morning.
I didn't know that.
Hey, he's an expert with Labradors.
I didn't know that. Heaven Sent Beauty Salon.
Jerry Jackson, what a great supporter, sits up there with a red club, and not a bigger Bulldog fan than Jerry Jackson.
Heritage House in Opelika. Mayor Patton and Richard Patton.
That's a beautiful home.
Beautiful.
Well, I heard Bob Howell speak there a couple years ago to our seniors. Beautiful home.
Beautiful. Herring Chiropractic Clinic. Our vice president in our booster club. His son played Friday, freshman. Has another son, Rusty, in the 8th grade.
Some of my coaches have been going on with their back problems.
That's right. He's a chiropractor.
Ron does a great job.
Holiday Inn here in Opelika. Jay Phillips and Anita Phillips own it, and they help us out when we have tournaments and we need people, some place for people to stay. We appreciate
everything. If you all
everything.
ever want to see the Bulldog coaches, you come over there for coffee with us at 6:30 in the morning.
I was going to say, this man lived there for about 2 months before he moved in.
That's a great place to stay, though. Jay runs that Holiday Inn stays real busy.
Yeah,
Don and all.
It does. It really does. Home Fashion Center, Sam Pridgeon. Appreciate everything he's done. Doug Horn Roofing. If your roof leaks, call old Doug. That's Doug's motorized golf cart that comes out in front of the Bulldog.
Doug also runs has that Tyler's restaurant downtown. Tyler's downtown.
Okay.
He's got part
I think
of
he
that.
might own the building.
Our kids get to eat there. Player of the week.
Okay. Let's see. I had Dr. Robert Husky, dentist here in Opelika.
Dr. Husky fitted plates for some of our players for us, and is a great man, very kind individual.
That's right. Intercell, and I got told Friday by Jim that if you knew what your phone bill was, it would be amazing.
Well, let me just tell you something. Every call I make is about Opelika athletics.
That's right. It was a joke.
Jim,
we appreciate everything.
Jim and his wife entered a costume contest last week and borrowed one of my Bulldog uniforms. I'd like to see how he looked in that thing.
I'm sure he looks special. Jay Smith Lanier, Rusty Melnick, and your good friend in West
Gaines
Point.
Lanier, one of my former, played with me in college. Big Gaines, a big defensive tackle.
Jackie's Cars and Gifts downtown. They're sweet folks and do a lot for us, and we appreciate them being a sponsor.
A lot of good little trinkets you can get down there.
That's right.
Opelika stuff.
That's exactly
right.
right.
Opelika games.
Jeff Cope Funeral Home, Bill Trent. I tell you what, folks, this guy took the team out to eat after they won the area. What a super guy. I mean,
Boy, he does. He does a lot of things behind the scenes
yeah,
for
that
us.
he don't want to be mentioned about.
Well, I'm going to mention him.
I know,
because
but
he's
I like that.
Bulldog supporter.
He really is. Jim's Pharmacy, they're brand new. Jim Askew, you and I went and saw him, and he
Mark
was
Mitchell got that one for us, and I think that's Margaret's.
That's right. That's right.
What is that? Kin to Margaret Askew?
Yeah, that's right. That's Margaret's brother.
Margaret's brother, yeah.
Jones and Hamlet, CPAs, Dennis Hamlet and Mr. Jones, downtown Opelika. Rodney Jones and his wife, they've been with us a good long time.
Long time.
Lambert Transfer and Storage, Mr. Carlton Hunley and his group.
And Mr. Carlton works some of my kids during the summer down there.
That's right.
And he's giving them some of the jobs, and I appreciate that.
Alan Ledbetter, super guy. Alan
Sure
joined
is.
up, sits right up on every game. Lee OBGYN, Mary Kay and them down there do a good job. All the doctors, appreciate them helping. Main Street Gym, Joel and Jan Lawrence and Richard Patton. Anybody need to get fit, go downtown. Majestex Manufacturing, that's Huey and Maxine Mann. Their sons played quarterbacks here. We had cheerleaders in the family. That's
Right.
Margaret's other sister.
Right.
So Margaret's got quite a few on here too. You and I just had to go see them and
Right.
sell them. Make Your Move Dance Studio. Anybody want to feel like they can go dance, go downtown?
Kenny Buck got us that one,
Kenny
Coach.
Buck brought that one. The lone Kenny Buck.
You all need
is
to
that
thank
one.
Kenny Buck about the great job he does on the chain crew.
That's right.
Opelika.
That's right. Special individual. Meadows Cabinets. Now that's my partner down on the sideline, Jeter Meadows.
Jeter.
Comes to practice a lot and checks things out.
Great Bulldog fan,
Yes,
too.
he is. Mike Patton Motors do the scoreboard. They help us out every year.
Jody Hill.
Jody Hill.
Mark just gave the faculty 100 T-shirts, Area 5 championship T-shirts, compliments of Mike Patton. And we
So,
really appreciate that.
Things that go unheard of. Jeff and Wanda Morrow. Jeff's been with us a good while. Does the not the Bulldog House, but the Dog House with
Right.
Stanley and he and his wife, and we appreciate them.
Y'all support
And
the Dog
MNC Corporation, Phil Constant. We appreciate him and his dad sponsoring us, and that's a third of them, Coach.
All
We'll
right.
do the last third next week, and let's reflect back over Robert E. Lee this week. Tickets go on sale Wednesday. The game's at Crampton Bowl Friday. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. There are plenty of seats. You know, I would like to say it wouldn't be,
Yeah, but see, if you
there's
wait-
plenty of room. But you folks need to get there, like he said, and get. I know this week they were there real early, Coach. At 5:20, 5:25, they were laying stuff out. 5:45, it was almost full on
Right.
the home side.
Mark, they're going to probably open the gates at Lee, I would imagine, at 5:30, between 5:30 and 6. But get there no later than 6 to get your tickets, because if you have to wait in line and you get in there, this game is going to be a crucial game for Opelika. Of course, you know, if you lose, you're out. And the Bulldogs need all your support. And these playoff games, folks, it's one or two plays that can seal them up one way or the other, Mark. You know that. And don't you ever count Opelika out until the end of the game, or don't you ever count Lee out until the end of the game, or any team out, because these playoffs, these kids are 15 and 16-year-old kids. They play with great enthusiasm, and they're going to battle their tails off for their school. And we just hope that we're going to play a little better than Lee Friday night, but I'm just, you know, I wish I could sit here and tell you that let's get ready for the third round, but if the Lord takes care of us, and you know, if it's going to be our turn to win, hopefully we'll see y'all next week, and we'll be able to play another game against either Daphne or Tuscaloosa County in Bulldog Stadium.
You'll be at Bulldog Stadium. Coach, real quickly, I'll ask you this because I'm going to ask you on the radio. Is it better playing a team that you've already played, or is it not quite as good to do that?
Well, it really doesn't make any difference to me, though. I think that's a psychological thing. I think the fact that we beat Lee 34-14 might help us a little. However, if you went to that game and you didn't see that game, Lee, the first half, dominated us the first quarter. Our offense dominated their defense, but then their offense dominated. Neither defensive football team was real good in the first quarter.
Right.
And then Corey picked that fumble up, and the game was over.
Right.
And it was like, wow, what a play. They don't have a player like him, but they've got a fine football team, and they've got that name Lee.
Right.
Well, that name Lee, as far as I'm concerned, used to win football games, but I don't think it does anymore. I think that name Lee means Lee, and Opelika means Opelika, and the team that's going to win is the team with the best players and the best coaching, and that's the way it usually works out.
I agree.
And let's, like I said last week, let's see how far little old Opelika can do against the biggest team in the state of Alabama.
Twice.
I think it's
One year.
It's the largest school in the state of Alabama.
yes,
They've
it
got
is.
2,200 students, I believe, and we have about 850. So let's see how we can do against them. And y'all just get up there and shake those shakers, and let's go see what we can do with Robert E. Lee.
Okay, Robert E. Lee, Friday night, 7 o'clock, Crampton Bowl. If you cannot be there, 97.7 Kicker FM at 6:30, pregame show. I'll be Coach McCracken and I, and then at 7 o'clock, at 6:45, we'll be live at Crampton Bowl. I hope you can make it to Friday, Coach.
I do too, Mark. and again, tickets Wednesday,
At O&A and
right
Andrews.
when they open up, OA Sports and Andrews Bookstore. And when you're in there,
Shop.
buy all that,
That's
buy
right.
all that Bulldog
Something
stuff. Man,
red.
they got all kinds of Bulldog stuff in there. I mean, it is nice in both stores.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, folks.
That's all for this week, folks. Now here's the play-by-play brought to you by WKKR Kicker FM.